Hi mamas, it's Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here and for clicking on this video. Now I'm assuming since you clicked on it, you are interested in switching your diet from whatever diet you're currently eating to more of a nutrient-dense, Nourishing Traditions, Weston A Price type of diet. And I want to say congratulations because I am loving eating this type of diet and following these principles. It feels very natural, feels very primal and ancestral, and currently my health and my family's health is really thriving. So I'm really glad that you're here. So just a little bit more information about me. I was plant-based for 3 years. You can watch more about that video here. And I have since switched my family's diet to follow a more ancestral type of diet based a lot on the principles of Weston A Price and the wise traditions and nourishing traditions information that they provide. So if you are interested in switching your diet, then I hope that you'll find this information helpful. I'm going to share everything I did for switching my diet to this type of diet. And I do just want to say, like, I'm not perfect. I'm not completely there yet. I'm sure that there are some people following this diet that have been doing it for a long time that are way further along on their journey than me, but I have come a long way. So I just wanted to share how I did it. So I hope that you enjoy this video. So first I want to talk about some of the main resources that I've used to switch my diet to this Nourishing Traditions type of diet. So one of the main places where I've learned and studied from is the podcast called Wise Traditions, the Wise Traditions podcast, and that is put out by the Weston A Price Foundation, and it's packed full of like really good information. So when I was first interested in this, I listened to most of their podcast episodes and I learned a lot that way. And then also, of course, this book, Nourishing Traditions. It's pretty thick. It's written by Sally Fallon, who studied a lot of the work that Weston A Price did. So it's packed full of good information. It is technically a cookbook, but all along the sides, she has lots of information. And in the beginning, there's lots of really good information about like the principles of this type of diet and studies. So that is a really good resource to have. And I just love the way it looks. Like, how colorful and fun is that? Another book that I recommend is this one, Deep Nutrition, Why Your Genes Need Traditional Food. I have not finished this book, but I will just say it is an incredible read and I don't want to put it down. Really scientific, but also like not that hard to understand, you know, not like too scientific, but I really enjoy it. And if you're interested in this type of diet, I think that you will love it too. And then also the Weston A Price Foundation website has a ton of information on their blog and just different articles and stuff and links. It's organized very nicely. So I highly recommend checking out their website for more information and to learn more too. They also have links to like presentations and slides of like different indigenous people's diets all around the world that Weston A Price studied. So yeah, check out that for sure. So now I want to talk about how I switched my diet, kind of the specifics in switching my diet. So just remember that I was coming from being vegan. So the order of how and when I switch things may not be the same order that you do things, and that's totally fine. Because I already was pretty health conscious, I didn't have some of the major things that I would recommend people eliminate from their diet usually right away. I didn't have that in my diet. So I wasn't eating processed foods, at least not a lot of them. I wasn't eating a bunch of sugar. I wasn't eating dyes. I just heard my baby. Hang on. Okay, I'm back with my cutie. Just woke up from her nap. So I wasn't eating a lot of processed food. I wasn't eating a lot of sugars or dyes. However, the thing that I was eating a lot of, not a lot, but I wasn't being careful about, was industrial seed oils, PUFAs. So the industrial seed oils are corn oil, canola, cottonseed oil, soybean oil, safflower, sunflower, rice bran, and grapeseed oil. So actually my vegan butter had a lot of those in it. And I ate a lot of that vegan butter. So I decided to cut those out, stop with the industrial seed oils, the PUFAs. They are not healthy for you. They promote, you can wave. Oh, hi. This is Elwin. So these industrial seed oils are toxic to the body. They accumulate in body fat and they are not healthy for your cells. So that was the first thing that I eliminated from my diet. And then of course, like I said, if you are eating, if you're eating more of a standard American diet and switching to this diet, then you would want to be really careful to cut out processed foods, cheap dairy, most of your like grains like crackers and stuff. Sorry, you can eat grains with this diet, they just need to be prepared properly. So the first thing that I started incorporating a lot of was eggs. I actually started incorporating eggs in my pregnancy when I was still plant-based. I might need to get her some lunch. This is kind of hard. Are you hungry, babe?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, just got her lunch. Gonna try to finish recording this real quick. So, eggs was the first thing, one of the first things that I incorporated. I do think it's really important that you, for any of the foods really, that you're getting as high quality as you can find in your area, as your budget can allow, just as high quality as you can. So for my eggs, sometimes I get them from a store. There's a certain brand that sells organic eggs where the hens are always allowed outside into green pastures so they can forage and they're happy. And that's gonna obviously give you the best, most nutrient dense eggs that you can. There's also a friend that I have that has chickens, and so sometimes she sells them to me. In a few years, hopefully, at our next house, I really want to have chickens. Like, that's my top priority, is to have heritage breed chickens where I can get my own eggs from them. So that will be really fun when that can finally happen. But so eggs are a big thing. I also then started incorporating fish, like salmon, basically. Pretty much only salmon is what we eat. I mean, and sardines. We eat sardines a lot. But yeah, salmons for dinner was the second thing I started incorporating to have more meat and the rich omegas, and I actually started incorporating that when I was pregnant too, which was technically before I really knew about this diet. So once I started really getting into eating more ancestrally, bone broth was one of the next things that I wanted to prepare because I knew it was really nutrient dense and had a lot of gelatin. It was good for hair and skin health and really good for gut health. And gut health was one of the main things that I wanted to start focusing on in my own health because I had just had my baby and I was really focused on wanting to develop her gut health as well, just to have her be the healthiest that she could be. So bone broth was the next thing that I got interested in. So you can see, like, I really started incorporating these things one at a time. I didn't jump into it all at once. It really took me like 6 months to a year to fully like incorporate, you know, slowly incorporate each thing. So bone broth was next. I go to our local organic butcher shop and I buy bones from them, and I looked up tutorials on like how to roast them and then how to make the most nutrient dense bone broth that I could. So bone broth was what I started incorporating next. And because I started doing bone broth, I was looking for places to get bones, so naturally whole chickens came next. So I also get my whole chickens from the organic butcher shop in my area. I roast in the oven, we get 2 meals out of the meat, and then I make bone broth of the bones and we get a meal out of the soup. So all really nutrient dense and nutritious. Okay, after that, I started including fermented foods. Fermented foods are another really big aspect of this type of diet. And it can be scary, it can sound scary, but it's really not scary. It's super simple once you get started in it. So I started making my own sauerkraut and trying my hand at fermenting other foods too, which is actually one of my goals for this year, to start fermenting like as many vegetables and fruits as I can. But I did, when I was first starting out, I started with kombucha and sauerkraut, which are still 2 of my main staples. Well, the kombucha I'm actually taking a break on. I made it a lot last summer. But sauerkraut, for sure. I mean, it's incredibly nutrient dense, very concentrated in all these minerals and nutrients, and super good for your gut health and your microbiome. So, and I mean, when you look throughout history, like, that's how people preserved food, through fermenting. And so there's just billions of good bacteria when you ferment. It's really good for your microbiome and for your gut health total. And so then I also started doing sourdough because I was looking for ways to still be able to make bread, but be in a form that was good for gut health, basically. So I made my own sourdough starter back in August, and I started making sourdough bread, sourdough tortillas, pretty much anything that we were eating before. I make sourdough now. The main thing that we eat is the bread. I really don't make that many other treats. And there was a time where I was making the bread a lot, but now I've really tried to scale it back, and I would say I only make the bread like once a week-ish now. So yeah, basically with the sourdough, you make your dough and then you leave it out to ferment for 12 to 24 hours. And during that time, the starter eats most of the gluten, so it's a lot easier. Sorry, my camera card got full there. But basically the sourdough, as I was saying, is just really much easier for your body to digest and get the nutrients from and break down, so it's better for your gut health. plus it tastes delicious. And so then the next thing that I started doing was incorporating properly prepared grains and legumes. All right, so the last thing that I switched for my diet that I started incorporating, that is kind of one of the principles in this type of diet, is raw dairy. So I found a place where I can get raw dairy, specifically raw milk, and I also get raw cheese, which is really cool. And I buy grass-fed butter from the store. Dairy was the last thing that I started incorporating back in, just because being vegan for 3 years and just always like growing up in the health like space, you really hear that like dairy is inflammatory. So it was definitely the hardest aspect of the diet for me to wrap my head around, that dairy could actually be healthy for you and provide you with good nutrients. So it was really hard to, a big mindset shift to do, but once I did, I haven't looked back. And I think the biggest thing is making sure that the dairy you're buying is high quality. So with the raw milk, I make raw milk kefir now, which has been so delicious. It is really, really bacteria rich, like good bacteria. It's so healthy for your gut health. And it's also full of nutrients and vitamins too. I know that the Weston A Price Foundation talks about the importance of incorporating like cod liver oil into your diet, and that is something that I haven't like started researching and started doing yet. So that'll probably be my next area that I'm looking forward to getting into, now that I feel like I've got a really good foundation and a really good start at this diet. So yeah, if this video helped you guys, then please let me know. Please like it, please leave a comment and let me know, and please subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. I post all about motherhood inspired by nature, lots of things about herbal remedies, raising babies in nature, respectful parenting, and nourishing food. All right, it's time for me to go with this little one. All right, thanks guys for watching. Bye.